Hi everyone, I'm Jerry Ford. Welcome to my studio and welcome to the May 2025 edition of the Mug Rug of the Month Club. This is a great gift for any of your friends who are soccer fans, especially my grandsons who love to play soccer and are big fans of Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, that's because they're 1/4 Portuguese. I'm 100% Portuguese, but they're 1/4. And if you'd like a copy of this design in PES format, send me an email request to waltzquilt@yahoo.com and I'll be happy to send it to you along with the written instructions. And also, if you'd like to become a member of our Mug Rug of the Month Club, then also include that in the email. Okay, let's get started. What we're going to need for this project is we're going to need your 5x7 hoop. Hoop it with any type of stabilizer you like to use. I'm using a rinse away, tear away because it's convenient. It tears away easily, but yet you don't have to remove all of it because it's also made with rayon fibers. So it helps support the stitches of the embroidery without adding a lot of bulk. Okay, but you can use any kind of stabilizer you like. You're going to need a piece of cotton batting or Insulbrite about 6 inches wide by about 8 inches long. I'm making mine out of scraps. For the base fabric for the soccer field, I'm going to need a 6 by 8 inch piece of green. For the backing, you have a choice of either making 2, maybe 6 inches wide by 6 inches long piece of fabric. You'll need 2 of them, and if you're going to do the shorter pieces, you're going to fold this over by a 1/2 inch and hem one edge of it. I'm going to make mine a little bit thicker, so I'm going to be using one about 10 inches long by 6 inches wide piece of fabric, and I'm going to need 2 of those. You're going to need to fold them together so that you have a nice crisp folded edge. I'm going to use a piece of white fabric for the soccer ball. White tends to show through the color behind it, so I'm actually going to use 2 layers. That's going to be about 4 inches by 4 inches. And then I'm going to need scrap of black for the spots on the ball. I'm going to use white thread and black thread. That's all. You could use green if you like for sewing the seams, but it's not necessary. It's going to be helpful to have a nice pair of sharp embroidery scissors. I prefer the curved because it gets nice and close and you can really maneuver with curved scissors. Okay, and of course you're going to need your file loaded on your machine. It's May 2025 is the name of the file. It's in PES format, and you're also going to need embroidery bobbin thread. Okay, let's go ahead to the machine. Okay, I have loaded white thread into my machine and I've got just my stabilizer hooped and my design is loaded. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this first color stop, and it's going to show the placement for the batting. And of course it's white on white. It's going to be hard to see, but you get the idea. Okay, that's the placement for the batting. So I'm going to put my batting down so that it covers all the stitching and do the second color stop. Okay, now usually we'll remove the hoop from the machine, but leave the fabric in the hoop, and I'm going to take my curved scissors here and I'm going to trim away as close as I can to the batting. But I like the batting to not add any bulk to the seams. And see, I'm just cutting it away. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off camera and I will be back. It is all trimmed, nice and close. Here I want to put my green background fabric down so that it covers everything by at least a 1/2 inch. I'm going to stitch color stop number 3, which is going to give me the tack down for the background fabric. This is also going to serve as the cutting line for the finished mug rug. Okay, so now I'm going to leave the white in the machine. It says yellow on there, but that's so I can see it on the screen. And it's going to do the lines on the field. I'll let this go for a little while and then I will finish the rest of it off camera. Okay, it's stitched all the lines on the field. And next I'm going to leave the white in the machine and I'm going to stitch the outline for the soccer ball. Okay, next I'm going to use my 2 layers of white because I don't want that green to show through the soccer ball. I want to cover all of these stitching lines here by at least 1/4 of an inch bigger. Okay, so I want everything covered. I'm going to stitch color stop number 6 to tack down the ball. And I'm leaving the white in for now. You could at this point switch to the black, it wouldn't matter. Whoa, that's awfully close. That's okay. There. Okay. I'm going to take this off the machine. I'm going to leave at least 1/4 of an inch on either side of this line and this line, and I'm going to cut this arc rather close. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera. All right, I've trimmed this rather close just on the arc side. Leave the 2 sides still sticking out of the seam allowances. I put black thread in my machine, and let's do color stop number 7 so that we can get the details of the soccer ball stitched in. And I will be back when it's done stitching. Leaving the black in, I'm going to do color stop number 8, which is going to show me the placement for the black parts of the soccer ball. I'm going to take my scrap piece of black and I'm just going to put this on so that it covers everything. Now I have switched to white thread, but I would normally just leave the black thread in there, but I want you to be able to see this. So I'm going to stitch color stop number 9, which is going to give me the tack down for the soccer pieces. Okay, I'm going to remove the hoop from the machine and I'm going to trim really close right around the black spots on the ball. And I will be right back, and I will also switch back to the black thread. Okay, now I've trimmed this on this ball, part of the ball, trim all the way around. On this one, you've got a little bit of a seam allowance right here. So you want to leave that seam allowance there, and the same thing on your seam allowance on this side of the ball. Okay, so now I put black into the machine and I'm going to tack in the edges of the black applique. Okay, this will take a while to stitch, so I will be back. Next, we're going to be stitching the outer edge of the ball. And you have a choice. You can either make it white or black. Kind of white is what this would look like. I think I'm going to leave it at black to give it a little more outline to the ball. But either one would be fine. So I'm going to do the next to the last color stop, which is number 11, which is going to seal in the edges of the ball applique. Again, this takes a little while, so I will be back. Yeah, I kind of like the black. The white would have been fine too. Okay, now for the last color stop. Now this is where we're putting it together. So I changed my mind and I switched to the green. So I'm going to put these over so that it overlaps the edges. And then this one, I'm just going to put it right to the edge of that ball in the middle. Overlap this by about an inch. Put the 2 ends over here. And now I'm going to put this back in the machine. You can tape these edges down. I'm going to prefer to walk mine over, so I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to put my finger on this start button and leave it there till I know which way it's going. Which way are we going? It's going to do a bean stitch. Okay, it's going this way, so I don't have to hold on to it yet. So I'm going to let it stitch as it wants to. And I'm going to stop it when it gets right there. Okay, I'm going to hold this down like on the outside and then hold the button in. Don't let it go till it clears that line. That's to keep that edge from flipping, and now I don't have to worry about taking tape off. Okay. All right, this is done. Now I'm going to remove the hoop from the machine. I'm going to take the fabric out of the hoop. I'm going to remove the excess stabilizer from the outside. You can remove it from the inside. It's not necessary. Here's my seam line. I'm going to cut right on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this. I'm also going to miter these corners. I'm going to cut it on this outer line. Just cut it straight. Miter those corners. In fact, if you like, you can even tear this away. It gives you even less bulk in the seam. It's up to you. You don't have to do this. I'm going to go ahead and turn this right sides out. And it does help to have a point turner in order to push out the corners. Okay, now I'm just going to give it a good press, and it's done. Okay, here it is turned and pressed. I gave it a nice crisp press with some steam, and it's finished. The only thing left is the closure. You do not need to close this. You could just leave this. You could whip stitch it by hand, or my favorite way is to take just a piece of, or a couple of pieces of fusible web, just set them just inside the seam. Just some scraps. Then heat set this down about 10 seconds or so. And that's fused shut, and it's ready to be used. I think it turned out really cute. It's perfect for your favorite soccer fan. If you would like a copy of this PES design, send an email request to me at waltzquilt@yahoo.com. And also, if you'd like to join our Mug Rug of the Month Club, just put that in the email. Okay, I hope you like this project. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I publish the next video. See you later. Bye.